Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Tuesday the 17th of December. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Well, you can tell it's on the countdown to Christmas because there's not that much going on. So nice and quick this morning. Just a couple of things. CISA and the FBI have raised alerts about exploited flaws. So previously identified vulnerabilities with exploits that are actually being increasingly actively exploited at the moment. The two that are of concern, CVE 2024-20767, which is an Adobe Cold Fusion vulnerability with a CVSS score of 7.4. The vulnerability is based around it's an improper access vulnerability that could allow an attacker to access or modify restricted files via an internet exposed admin panel. Admin panels again. It's a theme there. The other one is a Windows kernel mode driver with untrusted pointer dereference vulnerability that will allow an attacker to escalate privileges. That one is tracked as CVE 2024 35250 with a CVSS score of 7.8. That one, the patch has been available since June this year. The Adobe Cold Fusion patch was made available in March this year, so they have been out for a while. However, they are being actively exploited at the moment. So if you have got behind with patching of either Windows or any Adobe product, to be completely honest, make sure that you are putting in place mitigations against these attacks, because once exploits are being seen to be, once vulnerabilities rather are seen to be being exploited, there is a rapid increase in the number of people, number of malcreants that will be attempting to use those vulnerabilities. There are various other things going on at the moment. FBI is also warning of a hiatus rat, which is targeting webcams, various vulnerabilities for webcams and DVRs. I shan't, the list's too long to read out, but these again have been seen. Exploits have been seen since earlier this year, but are being actively targeted at the moment. And again, of course, with a lot of these devices, certainly the consumer end of webcam devices, you are very much at the mercy of the vendor as to whether patches are ever made available or not. Most devices, the cheap end of the market, most devices I've seen always tell you that they're fully up to date, even if fully up to date is years, from years ago, and that's before we even begin to talk about the fact that they send all their data to China. Interesting one. So Draytech routers also, over the last 12 months, there's been a lot of concern around exploit of smaller router devices to join botnets quite often. So there are various Draytech router vulnerabilities which are and have been and are and to continue to be exploited. There are some newer vulnerabilities in that space. So if you are using Draytech routers, or in fact if you've got any small network devices, Soho type devices, do make sure that you are keeping on top of updating those. And as we have said many times on this briefing, if the vendor is no longer providing security updates to devices, those devices have no place on your network, be that your corporate or your home network. And yeah, we've had the end of life discussion various times, but yeah, so end of regular security patching is the point at which devices should be switched off and put in the bin. Okay, so hackers have been abusing Google Ads to attack graphic design professionals. Now, I think we're pretty much in the industry anyway. We're all aware of the fact that Google Ads are not the most secure part of the Google environment. Over the years, there have been many instances of malicious ads, malvertising or whatever, that have sneaked through. No matter how, it's a bit of a sort of whack-a-mole thing for Google, trying to keep on top of that. But the other side of it is, it's probably somewhere in the organization somebody is making, Google is, making money out of the fact that they're selling advertising space to bad people. So it's just possible that they're not quite as vigilant as they should be in this space. However, normally these adverts are not aimed at, they're aimed at they're aimed at groups of people that don't normally include graphic design professionals. So the reason I brought this to your attention is, partly because you may have friends, family, or colleagues that work in graphic design, and this is worth making them aware of this stuff. And the other one is just to bear in mind that pretty much all organizations, one way or another, are doing stuff in a marketing sphere that could involve contracting graphic design professionals. So knowing that a particular group of people may be being targeted at least allows you to kind of ask the right questions and help protect your organization against potential supply chain attack in this particular area. The article that we will link to this briefing is talking about a current campaign. There are a couple of IP addresses associated with this particular malvertising campaign, hosting quite a lot of unique domains. So one of them is hosting over 100 domains, the other one around 80. So fairly difficult to keep on top of all of the domains that may be associated with this. However, it gives you some indicators of compromise, indicators of attack, really, that you may wish to put into your security tooling, visibility tooling, hopefully, or perhaps you may wish to block access to domains hosted on these particular IP addresses. So yeah, interesting one, unusual group of people who don't see being targeted regularly. However, the impacts could go beyond just the individual themselves and begin to think a little bit about supply chain attacks. Well, that's all from me for today. As I say, a very straightforward briefing today. Hope you have a good Tuesday.